You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
Maybe we should just know, I don't know, in the last 100 years of history, when we would just let people paint whatever the fuck they want, and they won't become Hitler and George W. Bush.
See what I did here? It's a little puppy dog. You like it?
This is me in the shower.
Yeah, it's just me in the shower. I had Laura take a photo and then, shake the photo with that special ink they got in it. You mean a Polaroid? Yeah, it's what I'm talking about with the shaky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. George, you guys want some chicken wings?
And on that note, welcome to this week's edition of The Couch Potatoes. I'm Alex.
I'm George W. Bush. No, I'm Cat.
Would you like a cool Miller Genuine Draft?
Yes.
And this week we're going to be diving into the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus. One that kind of shocked me because I went into it kind of like Cap went into WandaVision, just kind of not caring about these characters. You know, it's just like you went into it really not caring about Wanda or Vision, but it's like by the end of it you were like, oh, this wound up being kind of a compelling story.
You better have watched this during fucking Christmas time.
Oh, I know, geez,
because they pound the Christmas into you in every every episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cry me a river, bring me a Hanukkah superhero to watch a Hanukkah special. Jesus.
But yeah, so I went into it not really caring much about Hawkeye, but by the end of it, I'm kind of turned around. I appreciate his character a little bit more. Yeah. It feels like because we finally gotten some time with him.
Yeah, I think.
Aside from Age of Ultron,
I think with this one is that they kind of point out how he's kind of one of the lesser Avengers, or like the least powerful
he's a human being.
Of the Avengers. Yeah, he's the most human out of all of them.
He's a human being.
They did a very good job at humanizing his character overall.
But like he is still just a man.
Yeah,
I'm just a man.
An amazing,
the amazing Hawkeye man.
Yeah, the amazing archery man.
Yeah.
But what's crazy about it is, he has a special, like his one skill is archery, but he was a killer. Before he was Ronin, before all this, he was by shield to kill people. Just like Black Widow was made.
He explains he was a weapon.
Yeah, just like Black Widow, and that's what made her special. Was she had like special training, and if you watch the Black Widow movie, they go into it a little bit more. But she was an assassin. So was he. He just happened to use a bow, but he can use every other thing.
Yeah,
that
was just his weapon of choice.
The only thing is he wasn't hit by gamma rays, wasn't a god, and didn't get super jacked by some magical serum called steroids.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, he could be any of us. Yeah. If you tried hard enough and had enough money.
Yeah, and
had really good with arrows and knew how to time your special trick arrows with certain situations.
Well, I mean, but the thing is all three of us have watched Mythbusters. Mm-hmm. Even just in the couple months of training they've had, to do special trick shots. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, if you dedicated your life to it, and and you're in your they kind of paint him in his 40s, late 40s in the series. Yeah. So if you're in your late 40s and you've been training for this since you put your hands on a bow and arrow, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could probably get some pretty damn good shots in, of course dramatized because comic book movie, but in general he is probably the most relatable superhero because to a point any of us could be him.
That's kind of one of the themes of this series.
Yeah, he's the most grounded in reality one.
Yeah,
which because he's so grounded in reality, I think that makes him more dangerous than anything.
Yeah,
because they're real good about what Tom Cruise does in the Mission Impossible movies with him in the show. Is it's like, oh no, you're taking a fucking beating, and you're going to show the wear and tear. He's taking a beating. Mm-hmm. We've seen it a little bit in like Iron Man 2 and 3, where he's taking some physical damage and he has to struggle, but he still has an Iron Man suit. But at the end of the day, man, he had his fucking head popped on a goddamn iron beam.
Yeah.
He's been thrown through fucking windows. He's been dropped from high distances. He fought a spidered man.
Okay. And even like Spider-Man, people usually call him the most relatable one because they really Peter Parker is a lot more of an emotional character. You know, he cares about family and, you know, this balance of work and responsibility and yada yada, so on and so
his
forth.
webs for traps to eat criminals.
Yeah, and it's like, and you could draw a lot of allegories to his stories, to like your own personal life, but he was still bitten by a radioactive spider, and he still swings through New York City on webs. There's still a point of
chasing that cure for leukemia.
there's still that point of, you know,
fantasy.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, but again with Hawkeye, at some point that fantasy can be reality. You know, there's nothing really, there's no line between that, and that's even what kind of creates the, like Cap said, the interesting crux to this series with the introduction of Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
And you know, we just want to go through it episode by episode.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Episode 1, Never Meet Your Heroes. It's the 2012 Battle of New York. Young Kate Bishop witnesses Clint Barton battling.
He's just Bartoning his way through this whole series.
He's just Bartoning. He's left and right. Battling one of the Chitauri in the flashback in New York. And I thought that was a pretty cool scene because we saw the alternate side. We saw him like jump off the building and flip around and shoot that Chitauri in the original Avengers. But it's like we saw the flip side of that, which we finally see like, oh yeah, he was also ready with a grappling hook and like busted through the window. But like
I can't hear for shit because he's got tinnitus.
Well, it's like, but I love how they pay that off though, because he throws his grappling hook up, which catches him, and he, you know, swings into the glass, and like he does the little barrel roll and everything else, but he still lands on the floor for a second. He's just like, oh fuck. It's just like he is still hurting from that.
You know, going back to like some of the other stuff we've seen him in, I do like the fact that he just thinks he could murder any super powered person. Like when they did the Age of Ultron, you know, he gets smacked a little bit by Quicksilver, and he's just like, no one would know.
Yeah.
I could put one in him. No one would fucking know. No one. Not a goddamn one of you. You super powered fucks. Like, you can see the jealousy a little bit. Like, you gods of the arena motherfuckers, I hate you. I fought aliens as a man.
Oh, yeah. No, and you see that kind of, you see a little bit of that resentment in him throughout the series. And we'll definitely touch on those. But yeah, he winds up inadvertently saving Kate's life because one of the Chitauri was going like right toward her open window, which she was stupidly just standing there going and not like getting the fuck away.
Well, granted, I will say I've never seen something like that. I don't know what I would do.
True.
Kind of lock myself into place and just utter fear that, and also there's a species from another world, and also they're here, and one of them wants to kill me. So there's three dynamics right there.
Is this a God war going on in front of me?
It is. It
really is.
If you're a Christian and Thor shows up, your beliefs are a little bit dashed. Yeah. In your pseudo religion.
And but then it jumps ahead in time in which Barton is Clint's spending time with his children in New York for Christmas. Now, this is the only flaw and MacGuffin I see in the whole series, which is, why wasn't his wife there?
Who?
Oh,
Clint's wife,
Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, because at this point they jump forward in time, and Clint's spending time with the kids in Times Square at close to Christmas time. Why isn't the wife there with the kids? Like, that just seems like an odd thing of like, now it's turned into, well, since the wife is back home and I've had to ship the kids home, I got to get home before Christmas. Like, that felt a little Christmas tropey, if that makes sense. Which, I mean, I guess they kind of need if they're going to kind of hinge this on a pseudo Christian Christmas type special.
Well, I guess if they pointed it out, I must have missed it.
I think it ties into the end.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to it. But I think...
So you think she had to stay behind because of what was at the end?
Yeah. I think that's the crux of it.
Okay.
And I think that you may, we could speculate, and they may come across it again in another Avengers movie or some other tie-in special. But I think there's a reason why she can't be out in public.
Okay.
And Iron Man kind of calls it. In the Ultron movie.
Ultraman.
Hey, everyone's having their flubs.
You right? Doing the pose.
Yes, I love it. Chris immediately strikes a pose. It's like, yes.
But he calls it. He's like, and then he says it. I'm just like, And you watch it now, it's just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay, I can see where you're going with it.
I think it's kind of was a foreshadowing that we didn't catch.
Okay.
That's not subtle.
I can see that. We'll get there because it kind of upsets some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s fans.
Fuck them. That shit ain't part of the fucking thing no more.
But yeah, meanwhile, Kate Bishop attends the charity auction gala with her mother Eleanor, and learns that her mother is engaged to Jack
Duquesne.
Yeah, I was looking at the name here, and I was just like, I totally forgot how they said it in the show because
it's the same.
Because it does not look like Duquesne on the screen.
Yeah,
it's like Duquesne.
Duquesne?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh shit. It's like, for some reason I had his name, but as soon as I looked at the word, I was like,
the only reason I know that is because I'm a Swamp Thing fan, and
the
main scientist is Abby Duquesne.
Okay.
And she's, the love interest of Swamp Thing, but she's a DC character. But it's still, I love how they just pull these random ass fancy names.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in the comics, he's the swordsman.
Yeah.
So everyone was kind of looking at his shadiness in this series to kind of point toward him being the swordsman and kind of being like the extra bad guy.
And, and then for a few moments, you're like, okay, yeah, he is kind of shady, but then you realize he's just some goofy ass motherfucker.
Right.
He's the most goofiest motherfucker in the whole goddamn series.
He really is. But
he makes the Ren people look serious.
But for the first few episodes, you're just like, oh, the guy with the mustache who's being super sketchy. Oh, he's definitely not the bad guy.
The most interesting man in the world.
Yeah.
With a sword.
And at this point, there's a little back and forth between him and the old man. Then the tracksuit mafia busts on in, and because they're looking for the Ronin sword and the costume, which shows up at this black market auction underneath the gala, which kind of leaves, which they kind of ask the question and never really follow through with it, which is, how did they get it? Did they get it from the Avengers compound? And if so, why did the Avengers compound have it?
I'm assuming, and this is just me assuming, was, going back to like the first Spider-Man movie, where just the Avengers Tower happened to have a lot of weird shit just laying around.
Yeah.
And they just don't have a fucking explanation for it. Where do we put all the Avengers shit? Well, we have this new office, but we did have the tower, so...
Yeah.
I'm sure Tony Stark wasn't keeping track of all this shit.
No, he fucking wasn't. Why the hell did he have Thor's belt?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would he have that? Do you know what's on that thing? It's probably some bat-related shit. It's like Batman. Some weird Thor utility belt that sends you to hell. He's like, oh shit, here's a stone that I throw at you, and it sends you straight to hell. Or Isengard, or where the fuck he wants to send. Or Niflheim.
Isn't the mother that that's in the series? Isn't she the same actress that was in was it Departed and The Ring? Or
Vera Farmiga. Yeah, she's a great actress. She was in The Orphan. She was in The Departed.
She was the kind of the villain that turns in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah, she was. She was the mom who said, "Let's let them all free."
Yeah,
and it's like, you psycho bitch.
Yeah,
you should have got a bullet in your fucking head. Right when Mothra started waking up, I would have shot her in the face.
Right. But yeah, Tracksuit Mafia shows up. Kate sees this moment as her chance to spring into action. She grabs the costume, grabs the sword, whoops some ass, does a pretty good job, and.
Bro, we're gonna get you, bro.
I love the Tracksuit Mafia. They were one of my favorite aspects of the series.
I think they're great because you had to ground some type of enemy.
Yeah.
To fight, a young girl superhero,
right,
along with a older roguish superhero who's not quite in his prime anymore.
But I just love how goofy they made it.
Oh,
like
God,
they didn't go for like the occasional laugh. They're like, no, we're gonna go straight comic book silly with these characters.
And I like what's weird is
we don't look like Royal Tenenbaum.
Yeah. So the Tracksuit Mafia is a very, comic book X name and a, viability for a gang.
And they have that truck that has their company name, Trust a Bro.
Yeah, Trust a Bro. It's like two guys with a truck.
Yeah.
But, shit. But,
God damn it.
Let's do it again. But it seems like they are the most grounded in reality that we needed for the show, because we can't have an Avengers level threat in these shows, like
these street level
that would people like this. That's why I like the Black Widow movie because the level, the threat level is minimal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to call in Black Panther and Thor because if Thor showed up, the problem's fucking solved.
Yeah.
Done. It's fucking done. They see that and think if he shows up again, he is going to send us all to hell with that belt. All right. I'm dead set on the belt thing. So, or let's say the Spidered Man showed up. Huh?
Spidered Man.
I've heard rumors. I've read the weird New York Post by J. Jonah Jameson. I heard he eats criminals because he's a spider.
Hey, guy with 8 arms. Sounds kind of hot.
Deep pull.
But yeah, I like that it's grounded, and I really like that Hawkeye throughout the show. He explains like, hey, you're in over your head. You know, he's very subtle about it, but he's like, later on, there's also, hey, there's a bigger person behind all this that even I didn't kill.
Yeah.
Later on, you know, like
when Hawkeye meets the girl for the first time.
Yeah, the Echo, but he's also, you know, foreshadowing to what we'll get to as Kingpin, but it is subtle.
Very subtle, but they did a very good job because you start to question like who the big bad is for like the first earlier episodes. You're like, oh, okay, they're gonna lead. It's gonna be this, and you know, it's gonna be that, and then it's like, oh no, there's a person higher, and then it's like, oh no, it's the uncle, you know, and it's like, and that transpires over like 3 or 4 episodes, and it is a fun like arc to like kind of psych yourself up for like the bigger idea because you're expecting something pretty street level and small, which it still winds up being, but just for fans, it winds up being a much cooler payoff.
It kind of grounds itself in what Batman is, you know, not super science or super sci-fi. Esque villains, you know, it's
more cerebral.
It's thugs. It's fucking thugs.
But with like crime science or like behavioral science behind all the villains and stuff like that.
And as the whole shindig is kind of winding down and everyone's escaping and running out, she winds up saving a little dog, and that winds up being Lucky the pizza dog later on. And she escapes back to her apartment, in which Armand to track down Armand to investigate further, but discovers that Armand has been murdered in his home and is now connected to the tracksuit mafia after fleeing the crime scene. Barton, who saw a news report on Ronan's return, rescues Bishop from the gangsters
because he sees that hooded costume on the news and was like, oh shit.
Hey, I used to wear that while killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
Why is that on the streets doing shit? This isn't okay.
Honey, I gotta do something about this.
I wonder if I lost it when Thanos blew up our entire goddamn building and someone saw it and was like, I'm picking that up.
Yeah. And here's the really cool, interesting little Easter egg is like in Endgame, that final scene with Professor Hulk and everyone else, and they're trying to get Steve back in time to put all the Infinity Stones back. You see the blown up Avengers compound in the background. You actually see a fucking helicopter flying away with a big ass crate of shit.
Yeah.
It's like that tiny little Easter egg they laid right there is now paying off in this series.
Yeah, because you know when they had to tap Hawkeye when everyone came back, it's like, hey man, we're gonna go get rid of Thanos and we're getting the band back together, and he's just like, he just cut off an Asian dude's head. And he's just like, okay, I'm down. And then it's like, hey, what have you been up to? Well, I was out of existence. I didn't exist anymore. I was floating in space and what took out my motherfucking eye. You know, I was lost in space. I'm pretty sure I was going to die with this android bitch. So yeah, everyone's had a kind of a rough time. Hawkeye, what have you been doing? Nothing. Just, I lost my family. I've been dealing with that. And killing people. But like,
what was that last part, Hawkeye?
How about you shut the fuck up, Steve?
Okay then.
How about we figure out how to go back in time? How about we figure out how to be perpetually youthful?
I thought I heard you say something about killing people.
I don't know, Steve. We all keep people, don't we? With that fucking metal shield.
Well, episode kicks off immediately with Barton realizing that
I love
Kate
the cynical
Bishop,
aspect
I know.
of a conversation that you're having with like super powered people, and just a normal guy's like, yeah, I was a murderer. I was a serial killer. Dexter.
Because that plays off, you know, to a lot of the stuff in the series, and plus I got to keep it somewhat on track. Episode 2 does immediately kick off with Clint finding out that the person behind the Ronin mask is actually a young girl, Kate Bishop, who is stolen the shit and is running around town acting in that place.
Her and her stupid little dog.
Yep. So she takes her back to his apartment where they're attacked again by the tracksuit mafia and forces to evacuate, burning down the entire building or her entire apartment, leaving the Ronin suit behind. After relocating the apartment of the bishop's vacationing aunt, Clint sends his children back home, promising to rejoin them by Christmas Day. Which by this point, that's when I started immediately going, all right, now I see what it's going to be. It's going to be a constant. He's having to call back home and say he's not going to make it because of this, that, and the other. He's either going to make it like right on time or he's going to miss it, but they're still going to be okay with it. You know, that sort of thing. So I was already kind of set up being like, yeah, by this point, just slightly.
This fall, see if Hawkeye makes it home for Christmas with his family.
A little bit. That's why I'm just like,
No one's favorite Avenger. Also, I think this happens in the first episode where I think he and Kate Bishop are in the same theater watching the Avengers musical.
Yeah, it's him and his kids.
Yeah, it's him and his family. His kids.
And his daughter kind of looks back at him like, "What is this stupid fucking shit?"
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny too because they even kind of point out, you know, how even small things like that can get historical things wrong.
Oh, with Ant-Man.
Yeah, because the kids were like, I didn't know Ant-Man was there. He goes, yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up just briefly.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, but that's... I don't know. Well, I feel like we'll talk about that a little bit more at the very end.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, how terrible that would be, you know, being him as a regular man with his identity being out, because he didn't wear a mask, you know, he's not doing, but like everyone knows who he is, everyone knows who every Avenger really is and where they are, and when they see him, you know, it's kind of hard not to see him because they're probably plastered all over fucking media and everything. And
well, I mean, we see in a couple episodes, we see that plaque and it's got all their civilian names on it.
So like because they are the most famous people in the world or whatever too, kind of like what they say in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. That Chris still hasn't seen by the time of this recording.
God damn, I'm sorry I work.
But yeah, he escorts Bishop to a workplace in which she recovers the Ronin suit from the FDNY member Grills at the LARP event.
Yeah,
and I like that. So they threw me for a loop during the first LARP event because I was fully expecting Grills to be like, I got to kill you first. No, you got to kill me first. He's like, just play along, man. I was expecting it to be like Hawkeye kills him. And like he gets to kill Hawkeye rather, and then it turns into like it's not like he just gets taken out of the game, but now it's like, oh, now we have to carry the carcass down the way, and he's just like, God damn it, I don't want to be part of this. And then they've got to go through like this whole ritual of a dead body. I thought he's gonna have to go through a lot more shit than just like taking one for the team.
I like how all the LARPers are like firemen and policemen and fucking law enforcement.
It's a very big.
Oh yeah, it's super huge now.
Yeah, it's been that way for the last. God, since before that movie Role Models came out.
That's what I thought of.
And
was
for the
role
normies
models.
listening, it's the live action role play.
Yeah.
But no, I actually thought they did it very well, and they did something that I was pretty proud of, and as they pay it off by the very end of it, they have no problem painting them as goofy, obsessive. Off the beaten path a little, maybe a little socially awkward, can't really, fully get into it, have really odd particularities, whatever word I'm trying to get out. Eccentricities. But
eccentricities.
Yes, thank you. That's why I was looking at you the entire time, Chris, going like, "Save my dumbass." But they do it so well in the way that they don't show it in a disrespectful way, and those characters always have respect, especially at the very end. It's like I like the fact that they had no problem poking at them and just being like that, but they're like, but we still respect the shit out of you, so we're not gonna be assholes during the series.
I kept thinking of that goddamn Red Fang music video.
Yes.
Where they're playing LARP brothers, they're just drinking and they're like, hey, Gandalf, what the fuck are you doing? And it's just this guy like, man, hey, Agathor, I don't want to really work on my swordsmanship. I'm just trying to work on my magic fireballs and all this.
Right.
And it's just like, and then the songs start I think it's like Hank is Dead. I think it's the song.
Yes.
And then they start drinking. And there's just communicating, like collecting beer cans.
Subtitles. Yes, when they're just their van's just full of PBR cans or some shit.
They pound it into fucking armor, and then you start fucking like elbow dropping atomic fucking suplexes and shit on the fucking LARPing field dressed in beer cans.
It's so great.
It's metal as fuck. But like during this time was when what's her name? Abby?
Kate Bishop.
Kate is like, no, you don't understand. That dude's fucking sketch as shit. And he's still playing goofy as fuck.
Yeah, because this is the scene that she shows up. That's actually immediately what follows. Is the scene she shows up. She's trying to warn her mom, being like, yo, this dude is really fucking weird and sketch. And I think he might be connected to this old dude's death, shit like that. But he's like there. And like basically like info cock blocking her. And she's just like, son of a bitch, leave.
But he's like super supportive of her too, which is hilarious.
Yes.
He sees her like a stepdaughter almost, and he's just like trying to pump her up.
And the thing is like, I want to watch the series again now, knowing that he is like 100% squeaky clean good guy
In a way.
And I want to watch it through that lens now, just to see how funny those scenes actually are.
But when they're fighting each other, they're going sword to sword.
Well, that's what was coming up. Is that was the scene in which I was like, oh no, he's sketch.
Yeah.
I was immediately convinced, like, oh.
I like how they wrote that too, where it's just like they want you to like not only suspect, to know without a doubt that that's the villain of the series.
And also the way Kate was playing it was really good too, because she was just like, quit letting me win, stop it, just fight me.
And the whole time he's like, careful, bitch. Like the whole time he was like, look, you're doing great, and he's looking at the mom. He's like, look at her, she's very good. And it's like, and like kicks that goddamn sword out of her hand. He's like, but
I will fuck you
I
up.
will fucking stab you.
But it was such an interesting plot though, because he wasn't revealing that to Eleanor or Kate.
No.
So it was an interesting side that he was hiding, that he seemed kind of open about by the end of the series.
And that's another character we'll probably delve into before the end of the episode, is the mom herself.
Yes.
Because she is not slow. She's not feigning ignorance. She knows every
She's
aspect
very
of
cunning.
This. She knows every aspect. She's just as bad. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She knows the angles.
Yep.
And
because she could play a villain.
Yeah.
and after this point, Barton allows himself to be captured by the tracksuit mafia. And I love all that exchange. She's like, where's Lady Bro? He's like, I have no idea. Can I speak to your manager? This is like talking to doorknobs.
And I just love the fact that they're like, there's no like redundancy in their brain that says, hey, this guy's an Avenger.
Yeah.
He went across space and time. He killed Thanos.
These ropes, he's humoring us.
Yeah. So at any moment, the Hulk may just stroll in. Yeah. Just stroll the fuck in, which would be terrifying. Yeah. Thor, Odin's son, would come from the heavens. The Falcon, just even lesser people. Just like
the Spider-Man.
Feeding on the last person and just throwing his carcass on the ground and doing the you bro, just Tom Holland just being so small, being like, oh you.
And just Clint's going, we're the good guys, right?
Yeah. And just, or hell, just anybody from S.H.I.E.L.D. just showing up, pumping round after
Samuel
round.
Jackson just like pow, 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 pow.
Or not even him, just like Maria Hill, just some S.H.I.E.L.D. girl who's like off, like on her off day, happened to be like, fuck, I'm on call. And it's just like, kicks at the door, and it's like, that's a plausibility.
I want to see that series.
But that's a plausibility that they're not even being like, there's no one guy, just one line of dialogue.
Hey, bro.
Hey, you think one of the Avengers is going to show up? And maybe
no, bro.
Maybe rip my spine out and show it to my family.
Well, maybe they're not slightly worried, because that's when we get our first little Daredevil tease at the end of this episode, in which you realize that the actual antagonist, or one of the main antagonists, is wound up being Echo.
Yeah, Daredevil villain.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's like when that happened, you're just like, oh shit, they might be wrapping in the shit.
I think they're going to push her as another hero.
Maybe she's got her own series coming out.
She's very sympathetic in this series
because she's no different than Hawkeye. She's bent on one thing: killing,
revenge.
And I thought she was a very well written character too.
Yeah.
And her actress is actually deaf.
Yes. What's his name? Jeremy Renner actually learned sign to be on set for her.
Because one aspect we haven't delved into was aside from just a little passing comment is I think it was in the episode prior when Kate and Hawkeye are just kind of walking through Times Square. He was like, she was talking about, oh, why do you have that hearing aid? He's like, why do I have that hearing aid? And it shows like this compilation of like explosions and like all this head trauma and shit. He's just like
bashing his fucking head on that metal bar where he just slammed.
So hearing damage, probably multiple concussions.
So that is another interesting thing that they pulled from the Matt Fraction comic book run is he's got a hearing aid because again he's just a man.
He needs it because Tony Stark's gone. No one's making all this cool shit anymore.
Yeah. So he's just got to do that. Shit.
For fucking Reed Richards to show up,
and when he's trying to patch everything up, she's like, "Oh, we gotta go to the Avengers compound and get Avengers shit," and then it clips to them at like CVS.
Yeah,
he's like, "Get the Bactine."
Let me show you how to stitch myself up.
This is the good brand of Band-Aid.
Yeah, you need this one. It sticks better.
Yeah, and she's like, "This is kind of lame." He's like, "What? Taking care of ourselves? Fuck you."
Again, I'm not a fucking superhero who can bounce bullets off his goddamn
nuts. She's like, "What? I thought we were gonna go to like the Avengers compound." He's like, "Yeah, Tony sold that years ago."
Yeah,
like I don't have anything, you dumbass.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious, does it still exist? The one where they were at Thanos attack. You know what I'm saying? Like not the building, not those.
I was gonna say the building's flattened.
Yeah, but I'm sure they rebuilt it.
I don't know.
In some aspect, because there still would need to be an Avengers at some point. Now, we had talked about like West Coast Avengers, East Coast and all that shit. But like, I imagine there's still somewhere. Hey, where do we get all our shit? It's in a helicarrier. I don't really have access to that.
So we got some storage unit just fucking.
We got a storage unit somewhere. Yeah.
Happy's got it all.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert. He doesn't die in Spider-Man. He's still alive, so.
Well, he should have a compound.
Episode 3, though, you've got Kate busting on through, ruining everything. And he's just like, "Oh, great, you tracked me." And she's just like, "Yep," and then gets herself captured. And then that's when you see Echo come on down and interrogates Barton and Bishop about Ronan, who killed her father years prior. Now, that immediately kind of casts a doubt of, was it actually Clint in the suit that did it? Because the history of the Ronin suit is that it's been passed down. It wasn't like Clint didn't make that suit. It was given to him along with the Ronin sword. So that's been a character that's been through history.
I think in this case, it is just he created the suit. I think just for the MCU purposes, he created the suit. And he's a weapon. He's good at what he does. He's that missing link between regular people and the Avengers. He does the impossible. So I can't remember. Does it show Echo losing her leg, or she was just born without one?
I didn't see the.
It doesn't show her losing one
because she's a trans radio amputee, so she's like below the knee.
Yeah,
because she has a bend.
And you see that even as a child. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I thought that would have been more compelling. Like if like some piece of Chitauri shit came flying at her and cut her goddamn leg off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw that with her as a child, though.
Yeah.
Because we see that quick scene of her at the boxing match or the fighting match.
Yeah, and then the karate.
Yes, and then you see Uncle show up and give her a loving little pinch on the cheek.
Yeah.
And it's just like, at that moment, too, you're just like, oh, that's Kingpin.
Yeah. Not just that, she learns very quickly. Pull some Cobra Kai type shit and throws that kid to the ground.
Yeah. But after that, Barton manages to free himself and fend off the tracksuit mafia, though Lopez breaks his hearing aid in the process.
Yeah.
And I thought
that's a knockdown drag out.
Oh, I thought that was awesome seeing him and Echo like fighting it out, and she just smacks the shit out of the side of his head too, like smacks his hearing aid out.
Because she noticed that she noticed that shit like when she was talking to him, and it's really compelling on the end of his son
Yes.
being part deaf, and he's learning sign, and he's struggling to
Well, see,
communicate.
I was wondering that. I was wondering if his son is part deaf or if the family is starting to learn it in preparation of Clint going deaf. I saw
the son is deaf.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Now, the son is deaf, and I think it's a good segue of saying, why would Clint Barton know sign language? Granted, you can always do the MacGuffin. Oh, he's an assassin. He has to talk to you in every second language. No.
Well, he's still kind of shorthands it, like when he's talking with Echo.
That's why he shorthands it, is because he's learning it.
Yeah.
To speak to his son.
Exactly.
Another famous person that did this was Al Capone.
Oh, okay.
Al Capone learned sign language to speak to his son.
Okay, I didn't know that.
While he was bashing people's brains in with baseball bats. But it's a fucked up thing that he's going through with his kid, but he's able to use it in the current situation.
Right.
Which I think, because they foreshadow it with his son, I think it kind of shocks her a little bit. Because he's able to communicate that way.
Right.
And I can imagine someone who only speaks one language coming in, and someone that you're going to be working with took the time to learn that, just out of mutual respect.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. Sign language is hard. I can only sign a little bit, kind of like he does.
Yeah.
But it is a fucking hard language to learn. A lot of it is simple gestures, but the rest of it is very hard.
Right.
But I do like that. And I've seen that a lot more in movies and television, them incorporating
I've
sign
noticed
language.
that too, and I do think that's a really cool aspect.
You go. This stop.
Yeah, it's not like Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It's not the Boba Fett sign language where he's just like doing hand gestures.
Language.
Yeah.
Disney is pushing out a whole lot of sign language things in the past couple of weeks.
Like the John Wick movies, and number 2, the villain is deaf, and he tells her, he's like, I'm going to cut your goddamn head off.
Yeah.
If you keep coming.
After all this, after that, of course, he gets his hearing aid fixed, so on and so forth. We dig into a little bit more with Kazi, which I thought he was a pretty interesting character.
That's like her boyfriend almost, ain't it?
Yeah, a little bit. He was kind of like the leader of the tracksuits in the comics. He had kind of like a Joker-esque arc. Yeah. But they didn't really touch on that, of course, on all this. Yeah, and all the little references to Uncle and intending to learn more about the tracksuit mafia as well as Duquesne, Kate convinces Clint to infiltrate Eleanor's penthouse and use her company account to access the criminal database. And then when she gets locked out of the system for trying to bypass the security, Duquesne walks in, threatens Ronan with Ronan's sword because he's still got it in his possession after the auction.
Yeah,
because he just nabbed that shit on the way out.
With him pulling a sword on Hawkeye, I thought, oh fuck, they're gonna throw down.
Oh yeah.
But he kept it simple. He's like, I'm in someone else's house with their young daughter.
Yeah.
I'm a celebrity. This is gonna get weak.
Yeah, which kicks in with episode 5. Episode 4, and so yeah, immediately with that, and I thought that was a very good tense scene because they're basically caught with their pants down. They've got the mom's gotten the code that someone's tried to get into the computer, so it's been locked out. Clint's there. Why are they there? Because they're trying to get information on this dude that just pulled a sword on him, and now he's acting like a fanboy. Mom's here now, so it's like with all the little moving pieces was very good and intricate, and the way it all just kind of got swept under the rug with just Eleanor walking Clint to the elevator and just being like, "Yeah, don't fuck with my daughter."
Basically, don't let her be part of your stupid shit.
Clint's like, I don't want her to.
Yeah, I know. I love that reply. He's just like, I'm not recruiting her.
It's like, get this fangirl away from me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a running theme throughout a good chunk of this series too.
Yeah. And they do stay in communication.
Yep.
In a way, but it does show like the extended part of parenting, where like I wouldn't want my kid involved in this shit.
Yeah,
because they're not super powered. They have no way. They're green.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't really have a way of stopping her from getting murdered, but got to keep going.
Yeah,
and he's still on the track on the lookout for a watch.
Yep.
That's the whole crux of the whole thing. Was the watch.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. Yeah, you're right. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, during the break-in when they were during the black market auction, the tracksuit guys are looking for a watch. So it winds up being that Hawkeye is after the suit, while the tracksuit bros are after this MacGuffin watch. Which is interesting now, and I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of the episode, but it's why was Kingpin interested in having that watch?
I imagine the watch is a key of some sort.
Okay.
To some shield level shit.
Yeah.
To some spot that's dead in the water.
Right. Okay.
That he knows where it's at, but he can't quite get into. And he needs something that belongs to a shield agent to get into it. And why not one that's retired?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep. Why he wouldn't get Thor's belt, I do not know.
I was going to say, watch him like turn that compound into his that mysterious compound into his office.
Yeah. And then Clint tracks down Kazi and has that cool little moment with him in the backseat of the car where he's just like,
"Oh yeah, I'm trying to be cool with you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I could just slit your goddamn throat, but I don't do that anymore. So I took your gun.
Don't push me.
Don't push me."
And I love at the end of it, he's like, "Can I have my gun back?" And he's like, "Really?"
No, and he just takes it apart and throws it.
Yeah. God damn it.
I like that gun.
But basically just warns him. He's like, you need to tell, Echo that, she needs to chill because, she's going to like mess with the wrong person. And like,
he's trying to reiterate, Ronan's dead.
Yeah.
That he no longer, he has ceased to be.
Mm-hmm. He's like, how do you know? He's like, I just fucking know. Stop questioning me.
Like, just I know you're an Avenger and you're a hero and you don't want to show them lying, and it's Disney. I understand that, but goddamn it, just say I slit that motherfucker's throat.
Yeah,
I killed him. I took his fucking weapon and used it to chop Thanos' fucking ears off and use him as a necklace, and then shows up with like a necklace of purple ears.
Yeah, look, purple ears.
The horror. That right there is why doves cry.
Starts freaking out like fucking Dennis Hopper.
And so basically tells him, he's like, you just got to chill out. And then he enlists a group of LARPers in retrieving Barton's trick arrows, which I thought that was pretty interesting
because her place was burned down.
Yep. And afterwards, Lorna informs Barton that the watch the tracksuit mafia stole is still sending out signals from an apartment building. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was also a really cool build-up when the two of them go to the apartment. And she goes in, and it's like those little random flashing lights.
Oh, but before that, there's the car chase.
The car chase was cool.
Yes.
The car chase is cool because he tries to tell her, don't touch this one, don't touch that one, you can use this one, and he's just trying to be really cool about her touching his shit.
And meanwhile, he can't hear shit either.
No, and she's just like, hey, which one should I use?
Yeah, he's like,
hey, use this one.
Yeah,
I got an idea. Hey, I got an idea. And it's just he's just an echo chamber.
Well, because again, another aspect to it is you've got like fangirling Kate Bishop, and then like I'm too old for this shit Clint Barton the entire time. So it's like she's trying to ask him all these nerdy questions. Can you sign my bow? What's it like being an Avenger? And he's just like not humoring it at all. And like by this point, it's kind of to the point where they're having to learn to work together, and he's tried shaking her off so many times, but like a flea, she just keeps hopping back on and being like, I'm not leaving you alone. We're going to work together. And like almost the fact that he can't hear is like a benefit because all of a sudden he's not hearing the constant drone. He can think for a second, and then like they have an idea at the same time, and she's like, wait. Yes, that's what I was saying. He's like, I think that's a good idea. And she's like getting that small boost, but at the same time, it's still a knockdown of like, it's only because he can't hear me.
It's like that buddy cop thing, kind of like Falcon and Winter Soldier or like Lethal Weapon or something like that.
But I thought they honestly did a good job to where like all of their moments felt earned. It didn't feel like here's the new young character next to the old seasoned character. Everything in it felt earned. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I thought she was a very well written character.
In the car chase scene, though, you see a lot of new trick arrows. Which one is the Pym arrow?
Yes.
And because I love this, the whole thing was, he's like, hey, shoot as high as you can. And then he follows the arrow down, hits it, and it turns into basically a giant missile.
Yeah.
And then it
it's
impales.
like, bam!
And you're like, God damn, you psycho. Can you imagine if he shot that thing at regular speed, like straight at him, and then love tap the motherfucker? Or like hit the truck with the PM arrow and they just shrunk.
Well, I was gonna say, but they do that later on, and I love how it's like they shrink the guys, and they kind of look at it, they're like, "What now?" And he's like, "I don't know. I only know how to make them small."
Yeah, and then an owl takes them away.
Yeah,
and you know that owl strips that car apart and eats those people.
Oh, absolutely. Tasty treats for the owl.
Yeah. Who's gonna miss them? The tracksuit mafia,
bro.
I bet that one guy was in there too.
And once they finally get to the apartment too, and it's like all the little flashing lights, and she's like, "What is this?" And then it's like, "Oh, it's a security system for the deaf." It's like, oh shit, you're in the goddamn lion's den,
right?
And you get the big fight outside, and then all of a sudden Yelena shows up, and it's like, oh shit, the other Black Widow's here.
I still haven't seen Black Widow, but
she really makes that movie,
and that's what you've said over anytime I've asked about it, and she's great in this series.
It's also like, just as a callback, she's the girl in Midsommar.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one who's having a mental breakdown for an hour and a half.
She's much better in this.
And this one, she's fucking hilarious because she's a hilarious person.
Yes. So let's go ahead and get into that, because that's the next episode. Basically, that's what it immediately kicks off with. It shows a quick little flashback to Yelena and Black Widow, Sonya, trying to help deprogram other Black Widows, which was part of the plot line of the movie near the end, as they're trying to deprogram all these women that were brainwashed.
This one widow that they find is fine.
Yeah. She was never brainwashed.
She's on her side. She's on like a little side quest of her own life,
and she's like, "I'm getting paid to do this shit. You're not."
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And then she goes into the bathroom, and I love this scene.
Yes,
where she just like looking in the mirror and she disappears.
Because she goes in for the sink to splash her face with a little bit of water, and as soon as she splashes her face with water,
that's when the snap happens.
Yep, that's when the blip, the snap, the dusting,
and then
all the different
second,
ones.
just a split second. But yeah, and that's really cool because it comes out, then snap back, and she's where she was.
Yep.
And I just love the whole that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what all the normal people felt.
And I'm just thinking about, imagine if you were snapped in midair. You know what I'm saying? Like people in planes and shit. I'm just like, hey, I'm going 25,000 feet. Ah! You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be terrifying. But just like people just falling from the sky.
But no, I do love that transition because the whole bathroom changes. This had a whole remodel.
And then there's like a fucking 3-year-old just sitting there.
It's like, Mommy, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck are you?
Elena, that's where you've been. How are you?
Your friend didn't leave in such a dramatic fashion, but I mean, shit, since you're back, let me tell you about everything. No, I'm still doing this shit.
And like she has to break the news to her about the Avengers.
Yep.
What happened and the death of
her sister.
Widow.
Yep.
And to add on that, we get a nice little post-credit scene in Winter Soldier Falcon where she's being told by Elaine from Seinfeld.
I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, that Mrs.
Actually, that's in the Black Widow movie. That's the post later. Yeah.
Okay.
But she gets told that, hey, Hawkeye killed your sister.
Yep.
And it's not. It's the fucked up thing is, she tries to tell her sister what happened between her and Hawkeye in the movie, in the Black Widow movie, because they go back to her old place, and there's these holes all in her wall. And it's arrow holes because you can see where it streaks out a little bit.
Yeah,
and that's where Hawkeye tried to kill Black Widow a long time ago, and that's what they talk about in. It's a forever callback joke of, hey, do you remember Budapest?
Right.
No, you remember that. You remember that different from what I do because you were trying to murder me, you piece of shit. But like that was she's on the understanding that Hawkeye did try to kill her at one time, and then eventually did kill her.
Yeah,
in a accidental fashion.
Right.
But of course that's not how it's framed to her.
But it works out because this whole series is based on revenge.
Yep.
It just works out great because she's on par with him And she could rightfully just kill him. And that's when Hawkeye kind of just puts a stop to it. He's like, nope, I'm not helping you doing anything. Go back to your fucking life. You will have a normal life because that is a Black Widow assassin.
Yep.
Whoever hired her really wants to have me murdered and will kill you without any fucking problem.
Yep.
And
Since Kate going right back to her mama crying, and then that's when she's like, "Look, you've got to look into the Duquesne. You've got to look into him. Like shit is going wrong."
And he's still just this goofy motherfucker.
Yeah. And she's like, you've got to promise me to look into this. He's a dangerous person, yada, yada, yada. And then, like, the next clip you see, he's getting arrested, and he's just like, yes, I've been framed.
Yeah, because he was.
He's like, whatever did I do?
I know, and it's just like, looking back on it now, and it's like, poor dude. He's just sitting here, he's like, he's just like, yes, darling, I would do and he was like, yes, I would do the same thing if I found this information out, but we'll have this cleared up in a matter of no time. Like, none of this makes sense. I'm so sorry, honey. He's like being so sweet about it.
The guy that plays him is just so fucking great at
I
that.
know.
And like he does the whole, fucking up the sayings and stuff, which really makes it like puts a cherry on top of it all.
Yeah.
Just like, no, that's not what that means, honey. Yes, like, you goofy bastard.
You get these sayings just like you mismatch.
Yeah.
And then
it's raining cats and piss outside.
And then her mom was like, look, I've got all that shit taken care of. Grab your shit, come back home. Just live home with me. So it's like she goes back home, and then sure enough, that's where Yelena is hanging out. Great intro.
Oh god,
of her throwing the can. Cap grabs it. She's like, "Hi."
Yeah. And she's very laid back for a hardcore killer, and she's like that in the movie.
And apparently the scene where they have the back and forth was all improv, or mostly improv.
Yeah, it's like they kind of knew where they needed to go with it, but like both actresses were allowed like the room to just be like, well, it's girls' night. Write your dialogue. Like, how would y'all chat?
He's like, oh no, I came to New York. I wanted to see Times Square, Central Park,
the new and improved Statue of Liberty.
She's like, yeah, oh yeah, I want to see all that. And like, she's like, have you seen the tree? He's like, yeah, the tree. How could I forget? 30 Rock. 30 Rock, Philip Lauser. Oh man,
and Santa and his super powered reindeer.
Yeah.
Have you ever had reindeer?
It's greasy as fuck.
It's very tough.
And like, she kind of gives off this very like vibe, like
I could fucking kill you right now if I wanted
like
to.
Kate Bishop has that laugh, like you slit people's throats while their family watched. I know
but also love the line of she's like, sit down, eat. I would have killed you already if I wanted to. And Kate's like, yeah, you've actually had a lot of moments you could have killed me. She's like, right? Like, as soon as you walked in, she's like, yeah, as soon as I walked in the door, she's like, yeah. So, like, if I would have killed you, I would have done it. Sit down, eat.
She's basically Russian lady bro.
Do you not like the mac and cheese?
Yeah.
Like putting the pot in her face. Do you not like it? I know. And she's like, no, you go ahead. And she's just dumping hot sauce in that motherfucker thing.
And the thing, that was the actress's choice. They were like, they're like, we're going to have to eat in this scene. She's like, macaroni and cheese. She's like, if we have to eat, I can eat the entire thing of macaroni and cheese.
It's very simple. Like, it's quick and just like, you sure you don't want it? It's good. She's like, I know it's good. God damn it.
So it's like, even down to that point, that the actress that was playing her, she's like, no, if we're eating that day, it's going to be macaroni and cheese. I gotta have it.
And they go into the whole discussion of like, hey, look,
why do you keep saying my whole name?
Yeah.
Like, do you just keep saying it because you know it?
Yeah. Hello, Kate Bishop.
It's like Joey Diaz. Listen here, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Whitney Cummings.
Listen, Kate Bishop.
Yeah, but it's funny because she tries to elaborate as quick as she can. Like, hey, I need to kill Clint Barton.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is he? I know you know. Mm-hmm. Don't lie to me. Mm-hmm. I know you know. And I didn't kill you because you're not really a threat to me. And that was like the biggest blow. I think the biggest punch of the stomach.
Like, you're nothing to me.
You fucking weak ass bitch. Yeah. Clint Barton's a killer. I'm a killer.
And
you're not.
And the thing is that,
well, maybe, yeah, she did kill some people. Kate Bishop did kill people.
Yeah, by this point, definitely.
Yeah, she blew up that van.
But the thing is, too, is like
8 men in that van.
That scene is so well written only because we have the context of all the Marvel movies. We know Clint Barton, despite his flaws, is still a good person. person. You know, despite, you know, I mean, what human hasn't gone through, you know, a year or two, maybe not killing people. This is an exaggerated universe, but a couple years of not being their best.
A dark period, if you will.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, we're just not being your best.
We all did weird shit during the Bush years.
I'm in my dark period.
But it's like, so I'm just sitting here going, so it's like, you know, using the extreme version of the superhero. It's like, you know, so despite his flaws, he is a good person. But Yelena has Kate in every which way because she's like, well, how long have you known him? She's like,
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and she's like, yeah,
he's a killer.
yeah, exactly. So it's like she's got the upper hand with her part of the argument so well, and it's like that's why you're just like, fuck, because it's like from her perspective, she's on point. She's got it in the bag, but it's like we as the viewer know the true perspective and the perspective that Kate is trying to explain the start that she's already kind of seen, but doesn't have all the history that we have. And that, I think, is what's made it a great scene, is Yelena's able to say so many things that we as fans could like knock her back and go, no, that's not the truth. What about this, this, and this? Kate doesn't have it. She's only got 2 weeks. And that, and I think that moment right there casted a small bit of doubt in her mind when she was like, how long do you know? Have you known him? She's like, 2 weeks. I feel like that was a moment that actually cracked her a little bit.
Yeah. And, you know, there's some aspects of, you know, the whole Infinity War in game that people like her wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's just like the subtleties of, hey, you know, Black Widow sacrificed herself, and I tried my best to stop
only
it.
Only one person truly knows that story.
Yeah, Red Skull. Even he's like smoking a cigarette, like, God damn, you guys are knocked down, dragging out on suicide, huh? He's like putting out his little smoke, and then like the smoke comes out of his face. I haven't had one of these since 45. Oh yeah.
Becomes Al Pacino.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
that'd be a great Red Skull. Tell me that wouldn't motherfucking be.
Yeah,
it would.
And,
hey, Steve.
all this time, Clint's been recovering at Grill's apartment, and they get like all these costumes made because in the background, Kate's been making all these background deals with the LARPers, being like, "You get me the swords, you know, I'll get you materials for costumes, you know, shit like that."
You may get shot, but you're gonna get some badass, you know, fake costumes.
Yeah,
but I love the little drawing she does of the original Hawkeye costume.
Yes,
He's like, why the fuck would I wear that? That looks stupid as shit.
Branding, Clint.
Fuck you.
And let's see. Barton dons the Ronin suit one more time and confronts Lopez at the auto shop in which he killed her father. During the fight, he unmasks himself and attempts to convince her to let go of the vendetta and leave his family alone.
Just real quick. I love that she's there. Okay, she's there. She's waiting to see.
Fat Man Auto Repair. Yeah, I love that too.
She's there. She's waiting for Ronin, and you know she's deaf, so she's not going to hear the faint screams of men.
And sorry, not to cut you off, but I forgot. Reading that reminded me of my favorite tracksuit moment, and it was the scene right before that where they're driving and they have the we don't look like Royal Tenenbaums. That was that scene, and the arrow goes through the windshield, stops just enough, and a little bloop, and it's just like, you know, tell her to meet me at the auto shop tonight. You know, tell her to meet me where Ronin first met. She'll know where it is. And they're like, we're not Echo. And it's just like, motherfucker, we take it to her.
Yeah. But like, that's another scary part. He could have just killed that one right immediately.
Right? Oh yeah,
that could have just been going through his skull, and this is like the note come out right. It was his forehead, and be like, bloop bloop.
It's like Monty Python, where he's like, where he gets the arrow in a message for you, sir.
But yeah, the whole thing when he's just like sneaking up behind him, and just goes, floom, floom. And they're just disappearing and being dragged into cars like it's a fucking horror movie.
Yes.
And it's like, what the fuck? And she finally sees it, and he's just like, look, God damn it. I'm real tired of your bullshit.
Yeah. I've had to call my family like 3 times to say I'm not gonna make it.
You know how many flights I missed, bitch?
This shit, it's like, sure, they're refunding me like partial ticket fees, but like I'm still paying like the like convenience fees each time. Like this is like an extra $300. Tony Stark's not around. He doesn't give us money. Did you not see the Winter Soldier series?
Yeah, they destroyed the Quinjet. Okay, but the whole fight itself was really well done, and it shows off when he's intent on hurting someone. It shows it very well. Now she gets a few good blows in, but in the end of the day, he's fucking her up.
Oh yeah,
and I love how she uses that leg,
as
a crux to it, because it's basically like getting hit with a baseball bat.
Yeah,
and he realizes it real quick. He's like, "All right, I want to chop this other fucking bitch's leg off. I swear to God." He's like, "Shasha." But he tells her, you know, we talked about it. Like he explains, "Look, I didn't kill you, fucking daddy, because I hated you. Look, I killed your daddy because he was a criminal, and I'm a weapon.
Yeah,
just like you're being weaponized right now.
Yeah, you know, you someone put you down this path." And it's a bad path. And I was expecting like some weird, like hardcore, like Western stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like some Western message. It's like, look, I'll put down all the guns in the valley, bitch. Like, I'm killing everyone. I'll do it again, dude.
And hell's coming.
Do it again. I'll do it again. But, like, it kind of got like that vibe. Like, look, I'm doing you a service by letting you walk away from this. Now you could take it however you want. I didn't kill your dad because I hated him. I killed your dad because I was directed to. You know, no harm, no foul. But if you want to, it kind of reminded me of the Kill Bill.
But he was like, I was directed by your boss.
Yeah, but it also reminded me of the Kill Bill type situation where she kills Bernita Green.
Yeah,
and she just tells that little girl, "Hey, look, I killed your mama in your house, but." If you want to come after me, you better be fucking ready. Because you're not ready.
So I will kill you, little 10-year-old girl.
Just cuts her fucking head off.
Yeah. But no, I thought all that was really great. And especially because, like I said, this episode was just ripe with drops that Kingpin was coming. Fat Man Auto, this, that, and the other. Your boss was the one that hired the hit. You know, the big bad, the uncle. It's like it's just left and right little
and
references.
And he gives her the subtle thing. He's like, "Hey, I was there to kill your dad, but someone else wasn't there." Okay, so use that information how you want to.
And that's why she starts questioning Kazi a little bit at the end of the episode.
I thought she was going to just kick the shit out of Kazi.
Because she was just like, why weren't you there at that meeting? Actually, she was more like...
Yeah. It's okay. We can make
aggressive fun of signs aggressively.
It's okay. We can make fun of the deaf on here. They're not going to listen to this.
But so it's like, you know, yeah, I thought she was about to start whipping ass because he was just kind of like, I wasn't asked.
But baby.
I was sick. Achoo. It's coming back.
And then she gets on that motorcycle. She's like, I should kick the shit out of you.
And clips back to Kate and Hawkeye at Girl's house, recovering this and the other. And then Kate gets a random text from Yelena because they apparently traded numbers during their girls' night.
They're gal pals now.
Yes. And shows a quick video of Kingpin and Eleanor conversing. And that was our first little scene of Kingpin back in the MCU.
Cue the Triple H music. Bow down to the king.
And as goofy as it was, I do love Clint's reply to it. He was like, well, that's the guy I've been worried about this entire time. And it's just like, oh, yes.
Because, you know, even for Kingpin, he's not worried about S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, there's something about Kingpin, too, that puts him on the level of an Avengers like
villain.
He isn't, because
he's street level,
but he's street level, but he's the Kingpin of the street level. You know, you
see him being like the Sam Jackson level of like the villain side.
Yeah,
you know, the one that calls the shots.
And
for sure.
My favorite Kingpin, and it probably is yours, is the Spider-Man television show. Where he's grabs Spider-Man. He's like, I'm 380 pounds.
I can crush you like the bug you are.
And he says, I'm 2% body fat. I'm just like, God damn, you bald bitch. Like, and he just starts crushing him and shit. But, like, and I will say they have overpowered him a little bit.
Really?
From the Daredevil series.
Well, okay, so let's go ahead and get into that. So episode 6 immediately kicks in, and you automatically notice some visual differences in this version. It is Vincent D'Onofrio. We got him back, but even just the way they shot him.
Yeah, he's taller.
Like camera angles.
Yeah, they do the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson shit. They made him look bigger. They close up on his body, so his upper shoulders and head.
His walk has a good thud to it.
Yes, like a hut.
Yes.
Right.
Sorry, we're watching Mandalorian now, so.
Boba Fett. Well, I guess he's a Mandalorian anyway, but still.
Yeah, Boba Fett. Yeah, sorry. Book of Boba Fett. But no,
the Fett Man.
I'm the Fett Man. That's an old reference there.
Yeah,
but no, really cool scene with him and Eleanor. Basically, she's just like, I'm fucking out. And he's just like, God damn it.
But he's tried to be calm about it, which I think is really good, because that was the crux of Kingpin and the Daredevil thing. Was
he doesn't need
he's very calm throughout the whole thing. There's only a handful of scenes in every season where he loses his goddamn mind, and when he does, he flies totally off the handle.
Oh yeah.
When they introduced him and showed him like bashing a dude's head in with a car door, I'm just like, fuck. Yeah. That's what we needed. That's what we needed.
Yeah.
That's what Michael Clark Duncan should have been in that Ben Affleck movie.
Oh, I know it.
That's what he should have been. And then, the whole Punisher fight scene. And then in I don't know, you probably haven't seen it, but the season 3 of Daredevil, where it's what's his name? Bullseye trying to kill Kingpin and Daredevil fighting him at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-way fight. And it is a knockdown drag out, because he picks up Bullseye and breaks his back.
Damn.
And throws his body halfway across the room. And Daredevil is like, okay, I guess I gotta fight Kingpin now, because it's a 3-way fight. They all hate each other, so they're trying to like last man standing battle royale. And they made him like Thor Bjornsson strong. Thor Bjornsson was the strongest man for the longest time.
Right. Just kind of like just superhuman, but not like, God level.
Yeah. He was like 6'8", 380 pounds. He could throw a pony keg in the air like 40 feet.
Right.
And that's kind of scary. Yeah. A full pony keg just going, hi-ya! I tried to explain it to my dad. I'm like, that's part of their strongman thing. They take a full keg and throw it in the air. And he's like,
catch.
He's like, why the fuck would they do that? I'm like, it's so strength. It's
because he can. Doesn't that scare you?
It's a strongman contest. The dude is called the Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay, in Game of Thrones. He plays a man called the Mountain. He decapitates a horse. Okay. So, all right. But like, that's who I want to see back in the MCU, is someone like the Mountain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Over the mountain.
The prowess version.
Oh God.
But I also want to see, they do make him a little bit more super strength.
Yes, and I was gonna say, but I like that though, because
I do.
Yeah, because he takes a couple arrows to the chest, and he's just like, the fuck, click.
Yeah. And he takes an explosion.
Yeah.
Well, one of the first scenes we see him like doing actual thing, he rips a car door off.
Yep.
And at first I was like, who the fuck is this? Like, I was not expecting him.
Yeah.
And god damn, ripping it off the hinges. Come here, you stupid bitch. Like,
yeah.
And then he's going toe to toe with Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
And it is a knockdown drag out.
Absolutely.
It is a bad fight to watch, because any moment
you feel for that girl at times.
At first, I thought he was going to stab her with one of those arrows. And like break her back like he did Bullseye, because I was like, because he's ferocious. He reminds me of like Butterbean fighting Johnny Knoxville.
But I was happy with that fight scene, because it showed that Disney's not going to be afraid to pull another car door sequence that they have to. That still showed his brutality to me.
Yeah, and I don't know if you caught it, but he had like a web. A web arrow, which I thought was pretty badass.
Yep.
It was electrified, because we do get a montage of them making the arrows.
Yes.
And he's just like, hey, don't touch that one.
Yeah.
No. He's like, I made that one. Don't touch that one. He's like,
this one's mine.
That was
Trust
the big
me.
kaboom arrow.
Yes.
That's the coyote.
Yeah.
The Wile E. Coyote arrow.
It says Acme on it.
Yeah, Acme. What does it do? Whatever the fuck I want it to do. Whatever the writer needs it to do.
Thanks to Pym.
Oh yeah, like it just seems like that's another thing. Hank Pym and Scott Lang been like, hey, yeah, we'll give Hawkeye a couple Pym particles and see what he could do with it.
Yeah.
Not like,
Not like, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, nothing could go wrong if him like accidentally, shooting one into a human being and turning him 40 foot tall, being a monster, an amazing colossal man, if you will.
Well, after all this, Kingpin's like, fuck all this, and hires Kazi to, let's see, I think it was
before the so they have the dinner part, the banquet.
Kazi attempts to assassinate Eleanor on Kingpin's orders. That's what it was.
And so we got the banquet scene, and we get the Ren Fair guys.
Yes,
the LARPers. It's all a team.
Yes,
it's a makeshift team, and I love that. It's just like they're all cops too.
Yeah.
So they understand
the stealthiness of it.
Yeah.
They're all cops and firefighters.
And the subtlety that they need to do.
They're playing roles.
Yeah, they're playing roles. Live action role playing, if you will. But I just thought it was pretty funny because the way that was shot, and it's just like, I got Tango One coming down the road. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Just like, where the fuck she go? I don't know. The fat guy's like, I don't know where the fuck she went. All right, I really don't. All right.
You're like, oh god damn it.
Yeah, and then Yelena shows up, and I love the fight scene or chase scene rather between her and Kate.
Wild ass look too. That fucking hair, that fucking braided mohawk she had. That's pretty fucking metal, man.
Totally.
Because she looked like that girl from Horizon Zero Dawn, the video game, and that's a wild fucking game. But she had that fucking look. And I love Kate Bishop's first thing is, let me go follow the assassin.
Yeah.
You dumb bitch.
But I love how she's just like, Kate Bishop, don't get in my way. She
gets in her way.
And then they're like stuck in the elevator together. It's just like, and she's like reaches down to press one of the buttons, smacks it. She goes, don't do it. Yeah. And it's like that's what starts the whole fight scene.
It's a fucking Three Stooges scene.
I know. That's what it starts that.
And like she spins it around, takes her jacket off, and goes like a fucking child. And she's like, God damn it. And I love because she does the move that Black Widow and Hawkeye do, which is to hop out of the window with a grappling. And she does the whole fall and is running down to get to the bottom of the building. And Kate Bishop's like, I could do that. Fuck it. Fuck. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to die.
That's all I could think of when I saw that scene. Just the dialogue in my head just being fuck.
I do like Kazi thinking he could get the drop on Hawkeye. Yeah. And Hawkeye like catching the laser in his eyes. He's like, okay, fine.
Right. And he's like, good shot. He's like, yeah, no shit.
I was thought for a second they were going to do like a bullseye type character.
Yeah.
Like bringing him in last, but it wouldn't have fit because eventually, the Kate Bishop, Elena thing goes off. And then it's...
Clint's stuck in a tree.
Clint gets stuck in a tree. And then it becomes the Battle of Rockefeller Plaza.
Yes.
Which I thought was badass. Because it's just it looked like one of the Spider-Man games where you got to do one of the warehouse missions where it's just thugs feeding into the place. And so I was like, oh man, now we're going to have to burn out through all these arrows and shit like that. And I watched the guy online. He was an archer. He explained like he went through movies and television shows, but Hawkeye he really did, and he was talking about realism. And that's really how you shoot a bow and arrow that fast.
Yeah,
you move your arm with your shoulders. And he was talking about how she's just like letting off shot after shot. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly how you do that. Yeah. So there was some type of training for that, which I really respect. Because you don't want to do like some.
You want it to look real.
Well, you don't want to do like some Carrie L's fucking Men in Tights shit.
Me up there with a bow and arrow just falling over and shit.
Yeah. Or like pulling it back and the whole bow just crumple. But they're all feeding into there, and he's like, I got to get you out of that tree. I'll figure it out. And they decide to shoot an acid fucking
and he's like, don't do it. She's like, even unless you were counting down to jump out, I'm doing this thing.
And he looks at the owl looks him dead in the face. He's like, what the fuck are you doing in this tree?
What you doing in my house?
What you doing in my house?
Yep. And then falls down, has the big old fight scene with everyone, and then Yelena shows up and proceeds to whip Hawkeye's ass.
Yeah, because she's younger and he's 5 years older.
And I will say
angrier.
this.
Yeah.
There was a scene in which I think she had like a bar or something. Like she had like a blunt object.
Yes, their stick.
Yes. And was just wailing on this motherfucker's face.
Mm-hmm.
And they clip back and he's got like a little gash, like the tiniest gash on the side of his forehead. And I'm just like...
Yeah.
After seeing Endgame and seeing how fucked up Tony Stark looked and shit, I was expecting him to be a little bit more bruised up. That was the only moment that took me out of the series. Was she was just wailing on his face, dude, and then he just looks back up. He's like, "Oh."
But it's a Christmas series for the kids.
Fuck that.
He's getting beat to death like a.
We saw dead Vision. We saw Vision's corpse walking around in WandaVision.
Again.
We can deal with Clint Barton having a few more little ouchy bruises on his face.
I will say she was whooping his ass like she was the LAPD. It was bad. It was bad.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. For him to only have a little mark on his forehead, I call shenanigans.
You got to suspend some disbelief.
Shenanigans.
Okay, well, next time the Spider-Man shows up and not rips someone's rib cage out,
yes,
when he like does this to them, I'll suspend disbelief on that one and call shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
These realistic fucking movies.
Yeah. Or the video games. That's what I love. The realistic. Like, no, you can't. Spider-Man doesn't kill anyone in the video games. I kicked a dude like going 80 miles an hour off a building.
Yeah, you can do that in pretty much all of them.
Yeah. The Batman games, you're doing 85 miles an hour at a right angle turn, and you're just hitting everybody with a Batmobile that weighs probably like 4 tons. Yeah, they're dead. They're dust. They're dust. They are blood fueling the engine of my hate.
It's comic book logic, man.
Yeah, but no, he does take a fucking ass whooping, and I do love the callback to where he does the whistle.
Yes.
Now in the Black Widow movie. They use the whistle as a signaling device since they're children, and he has to explain it. Because she starts flipping the fuck out a little bit like Batman did during Justice League. How do you know that? What the fuck did you know that from? He's like, no, your sister.
Yeah, they did kind of have the Martha moment there, didn't they?
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad.
It was earned.
Yeah, because we have like 25 movies to go by. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Or as Brendan Lee Mulligan, a tapestry about the responsibility is power, which will always that better be on the fucking thing, like when they make it the whole set.
Yeah.
But it is subtle because he's like, no, you don't understand. Your sister told me about this because we've been fighting bad guys together for a very long time since before Iron Man, you could argue, because you see Hawkeye first and Thor, which happens concurrently around Iron Man. So they've been fighting together for about 2 decades. Yeah. Plus, they tried to kill each other before that. So, yeah.
Isn't that how most friendships are formed anyway?
In the Avengers, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. That's what they call having a history together.
No, eventually Belova spares him and leaves. Kingpin tries to stop Eleanor from escaping, but Bishop arrives and incapacitates him with Barton's trick arrows, and then Eleanor's arrested by the police for Armand's murder. Then after that, Kingpin escapes and is confronted by Echo, and a gunshot is heard.
But he's not dead. We all know that.
I think he took a bullet to the mouth and lived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bishop Dauber has been shot in the head before.
And then
he did a Full Metal Jacket, remember?
He did, with the fucking...
7.62 millimeter.
Yes.
God damn.
And I will say, props to the actress. Great manipulation through the actress's part when the mom was getting arrested. Mm-hmm. She's like, is this what heroes do? Arresting their mothers on Christmas? And she's just like,
fuck you, Mom.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry, not just no. But it's just like, that was a good little like, because Family tries pulling that kind of shit. That was like a family moment. It was just like, ooh, that was good.
That's when Hawkeye should have showed up and kicked her in the face. I'm like, we Kwanzaa, motherfucker.
And then the final wrap up is, of course, Clint finally.
Kingpin disappears.
Well, yeah, we don't see him after the gunshot.
That's why. That goes to the whole why I think he survived the gunshot was he took a fucking explosive to the chest.
Yeah.
So
Because that was the follow-up scene. It's the explosive and him getting away.
I think he goes down and Echo gets away.
And then he comes up like Undertaker or some shit.
Motherfucker. Well, I've seen some...
Hell's Bell starts playing.
I've seen some breakdown videos and too many people to, reference. So it's like, sorry, I'm not going to call out names. But in the comic series, there was a run in which Kingpin was blind. So they're going, maybe he got shot in the face, and during his recovery, he still has his eyesight missing. So that might be something they go with that.
One eye missing or some shit, or shit view. Because he took a beating.
Oh, yeah.
But he gave it back.
Yep.
He gave it back blow for fucking blow, man.
Everyone.
I'm just waiting for, like, what are these villains on his level just to show up one time in, like, a Thor movie or a Hulk movie.
Yeah.
And been like, yeah, I could take him. Yeah. Okay.
Again, I don't see him in he'll be in those movies, but he'll be like
I think he could go toe to toe with Hulk.
I see him more of like I was saying,
Hulk could rip his fucking head off
I agree with that.
and pop it like a fucking Coke bottle.
I see him again like a Sam Jackson role, but on the dark side.
Yeah.
The dark side.
And maybe doing like fights with the the street level.
And along with this, he's able to get that watch back.
Yes. So that
Kate Bishop
also
was able to get that watch out of that building.
Yes. So that's kind of the wrap up. The next day, Clint returns back to the family home with Lucky the pizza dog and the new adopted Hawkeye in tow, and in which he hands over the watch, and you kind of learn that his wife was Mockingbird.
Yes.
Which kind of made some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans a little upset because there was already a Mockingbird in that series. But in the comics, Mockingbird and Hawkeye dated.
Okay.
And that's what's kind of alluded to with that watch, is that was her watch when she was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, because it says the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo on the back.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was the crux of it. That's why she wasn't there. Maybe she's in hiding. I thought, when I first saw the watch, it kind of reminds me of like when I first saw Boomhauer's wallet.
Yeah.
Your whole brain just started firing off. Oh shit, he's been keeping an eye on Dale this whole time because Dale's a domestic terrorist, and it's the '90s, and the government kills domestic terrorists in terrible Texas-based Waco disasters. Death on Rainy Street.
Yes. Want to see that movie?
Just ATF helicopters dropping in.
Dang on, move on in, man. We got them dang on trapped in the house, man.
Kids in the house. But like at first I thought, maybe Kingpin needed it to get something that was his at one time. And the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Just something they could have alluded to. Or we would always speculate on these, and Marvel just does whatever the fuck they want to.
Oh yeah.
Which I love still. It still keeps you on your toes.
You got your fan theories? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unless you're Patton Oswalt, you can predict it.
Yeah.
From like 20 years prior. But yeah, man, it's a
fun series.
It was more fun than I will say the Falcon Winter Soldier.
I'd agree.
To me, it was more fun. Granted, that did have its fucking moments though. But still, I just love. I know they film the bigger movies when they do the shows and stuff. I would have just loved a cameo maybe from Falcon.
Yeah.
Or maybe Winter Soldier, because they are in New York.
I kind of love that the series just kind of leaves plenty of meat on the bone for like further content too, whether it's Kingpin or Yelena and Kate Bishop. I'm sure she's gonna be more involved.
Oh yeah,
with,
I think
too.
with what's her name from WandaVision, the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, Kate Bishop, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think you have a good starting point for like Young Avengers or West Coast Avengers. Plus, Yelena could be, the White Widow.
Yeah.
Whatever you need them to be, they can be.
Because the original Avengers are kind of aging out now, so.
Yeah, well, Steve Rogers is an old man.
Yeah.
The Hulk turned back to a human being.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if you have caught that yet, in the Shang-Chi post-credit scene.
I haven't seen that yet.
In that one, the rings, they bring the 10 rings to old boy. Is it named Ming? What's his name?
Fuck.
Anyway.
Y'all are terrible nerds.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
I was already looking something else up, so my brain was in a different place.
He brings the 10 ring, because Shang-Chi gets the 10 rings.
Right.
And he brings them to old boy from Doctor Strange, the Asian fella.
Yeah.
And he's on a telecommunications call with Captain Marvel and the Hulk, and they're trying to figure out what
Wong.
they're trying to figure out, hey, there's something in these rings that are giving off a signal, which was probably, the Eternals. It ties into that.
So it's not one ring to rule them all or anything like that.
None of that shit. None of that. Dude, I saw a meme for that for the Captain Planet one. It was fucking hilarious. It shows them all with the Captain Planet rings, and it's like, but they were deceived. There was one ring, and I'm just like, and it shows my T.
It's a matter of time before Disney buys that out.
Fuck yeah, I would love a reboot of Captain Planet. That'd be fucking metal as hell.
That I was talking about Lord of the Rings, but also that.
Oh nah, Lord of the Rings is played out. Like HBO's doing that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Hobbits fucking. just some elven ass.
As a wrap up here, this is basically the last Disney Plus Marvel series for 2021 that came out. So between WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, and Hawkeye, how would you rate them? Like 1 to 5, like in order.
Oh man, I really like this one. Maybe Loki.
I was gonna say Loki's probably my favorite out of all of them so far.
WandaVision,
Number 2, yeah.
Hawkeye. What If is last. I wasn't a fan of that.
I've only seen a couple episodes of What If.
I watched them all, and it was cool to
Yeah.
finally see it. It was cool. Your knowledge in it. The guys who really wrote the original, worked really hard on it.
Yeah,
but
I just don't have. I don't know. I've just never had the interest in that. But if it's cool, I'll watch it. Like I'm the Batman DC guy. So
yeah.
But I'm still consuming all this Marvel content because I've grown up with all this stuff now. I've watched these characters for over 15 years.
But
now.
because you have HBO Max, I recommend checking out that one season of Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Because
I'd be curious to see that.
the quality is right up there with Disney.
Okay.
It is I will say the quality that the Warner Brothers put in to making that.
The Warner Brothers.
Don't worry, it's gonna be one left soon. Don't worry, Disney will kill one of them in front of the other one. Sell me.
No, they're gonna make them fight to the death.
Yeah. Some Calvin Candy type shit from Django. Go ahead. Finish it.
Finish him off.
No, I'm pretty similar with you guys. Loki was still my favorite. WandaVision definitely number 2, and Hawkeye would probably have to be 3. And then Falcon. Then What If? Because again, it was nice seeing the What If series. It was fun. It was nice popcorn enjoyment. When it was out.
I think they could have shoehorned in maybe one of the characters from those other series.
Yeah, I could see
into
that.
this last one for the year, because they did so well with the end of WandaVision with the we got a bigger battle out there.
Yeah,
and they're drafting her to come out there. And with all the new trailers dropping, with the new multiverse of madness dropping, which I didn't like the trailer. It looked like just
The Doctor Strange one.
Yeah, it looks like they gave away too much. Like it's stuff I'm going to be looking for, and I know how Disney is, what they did with the Star Wars, but when it comes to Marvel, they're pretty straight on forward with it. And I'm just like, they're going to make her a bad guy, and I don't like it. I got a feeling, but I could be fucking wrong. I wanted Danny DeVito to be Uncle Ben. I was wrong. Then I said Joey Diaz, but
I know.
Can't always get what you want.
I at least called back to that on our because I know you hadn't listened to the Spider-Man episode because you still want to see the movie. But no, I called back a reference to that. I said, so Chris isn't here. He's going to be very upset that Joey Diaz was not in Spider-Man.
Hey Pete, how's that hot ass in me? How's your aunt doing? She found somebody. She ain't fucking some nerd with a stupid name, is she? Like happy. Oh, with some Gaylord shit like that.
Well, that has been the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus. I guess the next one we'll be reviewing is Book of Boba Fett when it wraps up. Because spoiler alert, we're enjoying the hell out of that. This is a very good series so far.
It's pretty damn cool.
Well, on that note, I've been Alex.
This is Kev.
And Chris, do you have any sort of final thoughts for us?
Well, since it's Hawkeye, I guess you miss 100 shots. You miss the shots you don't make. Probably advice they probably gave Alec Baldwin.
That was not his fault.
We don't know that. I'm still waiting on more science about the OJ case. I'm right now. I'm just delving into the Katy Perry conspiracy. You know, I'm trying to work this up. So, you know, give this to the people on Spotify that need to know the truth.
The truth, yes.
And tune in to me and Cap's Conspiracy of Oddities.
Yeah. Now that we're public.
Yeah, now we're public.
Oh, God. Here we go.